Oh, hi, I didn't see you there.
Name's Benikoff. Liam Benikoff. I'm a collector and hoarder of all World War II items and U.S. military. Throughout my time collecting World War II items, I have come to realize the true backbone of America and its army during World War II and other wars were the items used in the conflict, not the soldiers. Without further ado, I will inform you some of these crucial relics. Behold, the 10 most important artifacts present in World War II.
Hello, Vinny. Can you move so we can fit? There you go.
While you may associate warfare with guns, bayonets were also prized weapons. During the war, trench warfare littered the battlefield. In this form of combat, knives and bayonets were more accurate and useful at close ranges due to the concept that people who are trying to reload a weapon a foot away are very prone to stabbing. Because bayonets were more reliable than guns in close combat, all soldiers and troops were required to be proficient with them. Bayonets were so synonymous with combat during that era that even the most praised rifles like the M1 Garand were more often than not never absent from their accompanying bayonet attachment. Before TikToks would blow up, infantry would, thanks to artillery such as the 105mm howitzers present in the battlefield. That is, due to the deadly efficiency of artillery. 4 artillery batteries were present in infantry units as additional combat support. Artillery fire was a substantial resource as it allowed for the ability to weaken troops in preparation for combat operations, or to force soldiers out of cover or their battle formations. Artillery was such a valuable resource during invasions and battles that over the duration of the Battle of D-Day, 624 artillery pieces were stationed ashore. The importance of newspapers during World War II resonates within their impact on the opinions of the general public. Without controversy, the first significant newspapers of the World War II era were those which spread the information on the attack of Pearl Harbor. Outrage against the Japanese and Nazis were already present, but public information on this attack on Pearl Harbor encouraged America to go to war. Newspapers such as the Washington Post provide useful information on Axis atrocities, which delivered information that spurred public support of the conflict. During World War II, pamphlets describing how to defend against and provide offense against the Japanese were widely distributed. Due to the foreign and distinct training of the Japanese weapons and fighting techniques, information on how to combat the different but effective military tactics of the Japanese was crucial. This example of an informational pamphlet provides information on the weapons, physical characteristics, fighting style, and training methods of the Japanese, as well as their social and spiritual values. This distributed information on how to counter the Japanese was crucial in many invasions and attacks. Helmets. Well, as common as leaves, these helmets were crucial in the battlefield. Their metal structure was effective at reflecting bullets extending to the caliber of .45 ACP. This helmet here is M1 US helmet, a standard helmet that accommodated most infantry. During World War I, the standard helmet, known as the M1917, was effective against bullets, but would block soldiers' visibility. In fear of being thrown into conflict with half-blind soldiers, the U.S. attempted a new cloth design, which allowed for better visibility. However, this helmet, named the T3, was very vulnerable to bullet fire. In response to both helmets' individual weaknesses, the U.S. combined design elements of both helmets to develop the M1 helmet, which provided adequate visibility as well as protection against bullets. The improved visibility and protection of the M1 helmet allowed for lowered casualties and improved infantry efficiency, solidifying its importance in the battlefield. While gas prices may seem ludicrous today, at least you can freely purchase gas. During World War II, gas was a precious resource needed to fuel both military vehicles and aircraft. Due to this fact, ration cards were distributed to the general public. These cards limited the amount of consumer goods that could be purchased. Mileage ration cards, such as this one, limited the amount of gas that could be purchased by an individual at a given time. While this may seem like a crazy idea, it worked. It allowed for improved production of military vehicles and the resources needed to make them. Due to the improved production of military vehicles, present automotive titans like Ford were able to prosper by repurposing their assembly lines to meet military manufacturing standards. Ford was notable in particular as they pronouncedly produced thousands of vehicles ranging from the B-24 Liberator bombers to M4 tanks. Many additional job opportunities were had, as men were needed for the production of these vehicles. This in turn led to economic growth, hence the importance of the seemingly controversial ration cards, which contributed to a bustling economy in automotive industry. I feel pretty stupid, as my collection does not contain some of the most important weapons of World War II. Guns. I'm unable to own one of these guns legally, and I failed to acquire one illegally. So, that was scary, wasn't it? The word illegal? Yeah, I know. So I will have to demonstrate the importance and aspects of this rifle through a high-quality JPEG. This gun, whose name the developers of M1 Helmet shamelessly copied, was a battle beast. The M1 Garand was the most widely used gun during World War II, with 3.1 million instances of the rifle in the Springfield Armory by the end of World War II. This rifle, which was used from the 1936 to 1957 era, was developed to be a rifle with a rate of fire similar to that of a machine gun, yet with the weight of a light rifle. Often credited as the reason the Allies won the war, its fast fire rate and maneuverability made it a favorite among soldiers and generals alike. George Patton, a famous U.S. general, called it the greatest battle implementation ever devised. But I kindly disagree, as I regard two more items as having an increased importance. Medals were the second most important items of World War II. Yes, you heard me correctly, medals were the second most important items in World War II. These medals, awarded for valor and achievements of bravery and talents on the battlefield, represent the efforts of soldiers who fought for their country. Without medals, many achievements of soldiers would have failed to be recorded and been lost to history. These medals and awards, which allowed us to correlate together individual soldiers' accomplishments, have an incomprehensible historical significance. Furthermore, without medals, soldiers would have no reward to work towards, and families of deceased soldiers would lose support of the conflict due to the disregard for the accomplishments of the courageous. Losing medals would have caused a loss of morale, which may have caused many people to boycott items of war and soldiers to go AWOL. Gas masks were the most important thing to be used during World War II. Due to the continued and violent use of gas warfare during World War II, despite the Geneva Convention, gas masks were a necessity in the trenches and on the battlefield in order to combat this kind of biological warfare. Gas masks were the most important item in the war, as they were the most important tool for soldiers to possess. As no matter how much firepower, artillery, knives, or helmets you had, you can't fight back if gas had already unalived your organs. Gas masks were often equipped with face covering, with goggles, respirator, and tube that would distribute oxygen for breathing. Due to the deadly effect of the new implemented mustard gas masks' importance reside in the hundreds of thousands of soldiers' lives they saved. Well, those were the 10 most important items of war in the home front during World War II. Well, I'd love to talk more. I better fuel up my gas tank. Vincent, you did a good job. Oh, yes, you were. You were the best prop. Oh, yes, you were the best prop. Oh, we're still rolling. Oh, I love you so much. Oh, yes, I